So we begin tonight with our feature story, which happens to involve European basketball. Adam Silver on an actual vacation with his deputy commissioner, Mark Tatum, in Europe. As you might imagine, Silver asked Mark Tatum, how would you like to spice up our London trip? And of course, Tatum says, take me to Buckingham Palace. Then Silver follows up with, how do you feel about actually seeing Big Ben? So as Silver and Tatum explored the hot spots from a tourist perspective in London, we turn our story actually in a different direction. And this particular fella, this is good old Matteo, who has recently been picked up by a team in the EuroLeague. I simply bring up Matteo to just point out how the synergies between the NBA and European basketball are really alive and well. We are going to get into exactly what is Adam Silver trying to accomplish on his European vacation. Here's some other interesting pictures of Adam Silver on his vacation. Here's a great shot of Adam Silver put out by the good folks over at Bleacher Report. Certainly, this plays into the whole Adam Silver is actually an alien. Hey, welcome back to the NAT Reports. As always, I am Dave Dubois coming to you from the Silicon Valley. This is the show that gives you a daily sports business brief. But our primary story tonight is really what is Adam Silver and his deputy commissioner up to in Europe this week. Now, we've heard the rumors that, of course, the NBA was possibly interested at some point in actually putting an expansion team in Europe. But the truth is Adam Silver is actually there to attempt to negotiate a deal in which would create a brand new NBA-led European basketball league. Now, we're going to get into the details of this and actually how it would all work. The good folks over at Sportico put out an excellent article a little bit earlier in the day, which covers some of the details. We followed that article up on the NAT Report Substack as well with our own version of a article about what it actually means as the NBA is truly making moves in Europe at this point. Now, here's a picture for you of three superstars who currently play in the National Basketball Association. I think you might actually recognize who these fellas are. Now, these fellas are actually going to be playing in FIBA's EuroBasket 2025. It starts in August and actually bleeds into the middle of September. It's that time of the year where NBA general managers are crossing their fingers, hoping that nobody actually gets injured. On the Lakers side of the front, they're just hoping that Luka doesn't indulge too much, if you will, in both the drink and eat that will be available to him throughout his time in Europe. Look, at the end of the day, what Adam Silver is actually trying to do at this point is set up a brand new league, a league that will actually make it possible for EuroLeague to actually continue in its current form, and would also make it possible for other teams to also join. Now, the rumors of what this actually is going to look like follows the following. Both the NBA and FIBA are currently discussing a format which would actually include 16 franchises. Now, 12 permanent clubs and 4 wild card spots based on annual performance and other in other competitions similar to EuroLeague could actually get you into this league as well. Now, we know how the Premier League soccer league works, and you can get demotions, you can go up and you can go down, and there's several layers of that. And so there's some elements to this. One of the other big elements to this is actually going to be the financial structure of this particular league. Now, We don't have actual confirmed numbers yet, but what we believe based on what we think media rights would actually be for a league like this, we believe that it would be probably north of $3 billion in terms of what this league would be able to make in its first year in existence, which is hard for the NBA Board of Governors to walk away from, despite any threats that might come their way from the CEO over at EuroLeague. Look, at the end of the day, this is probably a good move for the NBA to actually see if it can actually create a brand new league, a league in which allows other teams from other leagues to actually also participate. Now, the other part of the financial aspects of this also include the possibilities that a franchise fee for something like this would actually probably be around $500 million just to get yourself into this league. And if you're wondering who would actually be willing to pay that, well, good old Adam Silver is certainly happy to not have the same rules when it comes to private equity that actually affect the ownership structure of teams in the United States. Currently, in the United States, you can't have anybody from a private equity perspective actually own more than 20% of a team. Now, those numbers might change in the future, but as of now, that's actually where we stand. Now, I put this Bleacher Report picture back up for you so you could see it. And clearly, Adam Silver, yes, he does look like an alien. And yes, Adam Silver got up in front of the world in the middle of the night. For most people, it was late night in Vegas some 3.5 weeks ago when Adam Silver basically looked like a hostage reading a note that his captors had actually given him about actual NBA expansion in the United States. You could hear the people in Las Vegas. You could hear the people in Seattle disappointed with what came out of Adam Silver's mouth. It was his attempt to basically kick the NBA expansion can down the road. And the reason he was being told to do this is now fully understood at this point by all of us, as clearly Adam Silver was under significant pressure from the NBA Board of Governors to actually look seriously into building a brand new league in Europe. The undertaking that this is actually going to take is pretty significant. My guess is if they are able to actually vote on this and are able to actually get and secure a significant amount of partnerships, we could see this new league actually take form as soon as 2026. My guess is we might be looking at something closer to 2027, but there is certainly the possibility that they could get something like this together. Now, Adam Silver, in the same way he went into the NBA Board of Governors meeting, knowing everything he needed to know when it came to NBA expansion in the United States. He did not need to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out the numbers in terms of what it would mean to the current owners, as well as what the potential expansion fees were going to be, as well as which cities were most likely going to be granted one of those two expansion franchises that he has been wanting to actually put in to the North American market for quite some time. So going to Europe at this point, Adam Silver clearly has a strong understanding, if you will, of the chessboard and understands exactly what it's actually going to take, both from a financial and operations perspective, to actually get something like this done. You know, outside of James Dolan, who is going to vote against anything Adam Silver does, my guess is that the NBA Board of Governors will vote for just about anything that Adam Silver puts in front of them, that it revolves around the ability of a new league to possibly generate around $3 billion in its first year. This seems like an absolute no-brainer, assuming that the NBA can pull off the hard part, which is actually going to be the sponsorships with the other leagues in Europe to actually make something like this happen. All right, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on this particular topic. Please go ahead and drop those in when you have a chance. For the NAT Reports, as always, I'm Dave DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.